I've been in business now for 8 years, and by no means am I the best at finding a way to really build a business. There's so many people that are far better than me. And just like there's a bunch of people, probably thousands, that can solve the Rubik's Cube much better than me, much faster than me too. I've seen guys, I don't know if you've seen the videos, there's people out there that can solve it in 6 seconds. And like business, there's people like Marcus Lemonis and the Shark Tank guys who just kind of take a look at a business, and within a few seconds, right, they're so expert, they can make a snap decision as to what can really be done to help that business grow. So I don't have that skill set. And the reason I tell you guys that is because those of you that are looking at really growing a business or starting a business, I think the thing that makes it a lot easier to get started and stick with it is realize that, a lot of people that are doing things that maybe you want to accomplish too, there's nothing really superhero about them other than the fact that maybe they just kind of have that will, that drive to stick with it, which is something that everyone could really do. I don't know if that's a superhero as much as it's more of like a mindset. And so I ended up, I remember I watched the movie Pursuit of Happiness. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it's a really great movie about Chris Gardner. Will Smith plays Chris Gardner. And there's a scene in there where he actually solves a Rubik's Cube. It takes him a while. And I remember I thought it was so cool when he solved that Rubik's Cube, and I was like, man, I want to do that too. Maybe make me look pretty smart if I can figure that out. So I was pretty determined to figuring out how to solve this thing. But here's the thing, I don't have that like natural wiring in my brain, that my brain isn't set up like some where they can just like look at this thing and figure it out. And there's a billion different ways to solve the Rubik's Cube, just like there's a billion different ways to really build a business. Some people just kind of see it and go. I don't have that skill set with either the Rubik's Cube or building a business. But what I can do is really study and learn from people that have already figured it out and follow like fundamental footsteps. So when I decided I wanted to learn how to do this Rubik's Cube, I pretty much followed the same strategy that I used when I wanted to learn how to build a business, which I didn't have any natural skill set at. I watched a ton of videos and learned from people that were doing it much better than me. And next thing you know, I was kind of starting to see some like forward movement in my business, like little signs that I was doing things right? Kind of like right now, you can see how it's starting to really come together. And I was like, man, okay, I'm starting to get it. And things still don't work out well. And sometimes just like one little thing that you do wrong can like mess you all up and almost make you have to start all over, which really kind of sucks. But the difference is when you have to start all over after already kind of doing it, you can get back to where you were pretty quickly, because number one, you have the confidence, but number two, because you kind of have like familiarity around this thing now. It's not so strange and new to you anymore. So now it's really just about following the recipe. And if you go to YouTube, you can type in like how to solve the Rubik's Cube, and there's actually people on there that share like a strategy on how to do it. Again, there's a billion ways that you can solve the Rubik's Cube. But all I really needed was one. I didn't need to know a billion ways. I just really needed to know one. And if I could have one surefire way that works every single time, then I'm good to go. And I can just kind of rely on that. And the same thing happened with business. I didn't really need to know like all the billion different ways that you can sell products and create systems and process and build a business. I mean, it's kind of cool to learn that stuff. But really all I wanted was the ability to follow a recipe that proves to work over and over and over. And that's why I hire coaches, and that's why I read books, because that's what that's all about. And once you have that down, it's pretty cool, because I can get to this spot over and over and over anytime I want to. No matter how messed up someone gets it, I can find my way back here as long as I follow that same one path. And then I could start learning some new paths to get back here if I needed to, but I can always rely on that one. So for you guys out there that are struggling in your business, you're getting started, you feel like there's so many different pieces and so many different options that you can do in order to get started, and then you feel like no matter how much you move forward, you're just messing it up more. Don't rely on figuring out yourself. I wouldn't be ever, I don't think in 100 years, I'd be able to just figure this thing out on my own. It's so complex. But can I learn from one person, two people? Can I just watch? Can I memorize? Can I understand just this one strategy to be able to succeed? Yeah, I can do that as long as I work on it over and over and over. And from there, you can start exploring some other avenues and you can create some really cool things. But no matter what, you can always rely on on one strategy to get you back to where you need to be if you find yourself lost. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoy it.